The crucial moment is officially here for XRP, and we have been waiting for this, as I have been mentioning over the last couple days. Now, we're going to be addressing it in this video. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, of course. So definitely sit back, relax, and welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And guys, what are you waiting for? Join up in the free Discord if you haven't already. We are closing in on 10,000 members that are extremely happy with what they are getting access to in the Discord. So if you guys do want to join up, there's going to be a link down in the description below. And with that being said, let's dive on in. Let's talk about a few things. So Bitcoin recently did take a little bit of a nosedive. If we actually go and look at it, it did come back down to about roughly $91,400 or so. We're going to be looking at some of the candle closes, but for the most part, Bitcoin is still chopping here. And if we look at the last 1 year, we can clearly see that it is still chopping right around the same levels, going back to roughly November or like the end of November. Now, as we look at XRP is trading at about roughly $2.04. And if you really kind of look at the chart here, this is what the chart looks like. This is what the 7 days looks like. And this is also what the 1 month looks like. Now, one thing to mention here is that we are still looking at higher lows on this chart. Outside of just looking at CoinMarketCap, when we actually look at Bitcoin, we could see that we have so far held the 91.9K level. The candle body closes on the 12-hour are still right around the major support zone, going all the way back to the 19th and also the 20th. If we look at the daily charts, we do have some daily candle body closes below the previous lows, but we are still above the lows from the 26th of November and also the 27th, which means we technically still have those higher lows closed in on this chart. The crucial thing that I'm actually watching for, and I'm sure that you guys are probably aware from the previous videos, is ultimately flipping some significant levels. The first level that I want to see Bitcoin actually flip is around 96.5K. After that, we really look at the inverse fair value gap that we did hit previously so that we could finally get over the 100K level and put in a higher high on this chart. Now, it is going to take some time, and I do think that patience is crucial here, because if we do start to lose some of these additional lows, aka we get a 12-hour close below 92K, then guess what? That is when we start to look at some of the other lows on this chart, more so around 81.5K to about $85,000. And that's our fair value gap, at least on the daily. If we look at the daily, we could see that fair value gap down here. This is my focus if we start to lose this area up here, aka 92K. So that's what I'm watching for on Bitcoin. No major change there at all. When it comes to XRP, like I said, we have that nice wick to the downside, almost $2 exact. If you guys watch my previous videos, I did say that I don't want us to lose $2. This is the liquidity wick that I was talking about in terms of supporting that $2 move. This is what I wanted to essentially see us kind of wick down to, retest. We did hit that bottom trend line perfectly and have a bounce so far off of. It's nothing too significant yet. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We still need to be cautious here, which is why I said, the crucial moment is officially here. Today is going to be the day that we figure out if we are going to lose the $2 level or not. Now, again, by the time that this video does go live, price action should already have been, printed out on the chart. The crucial thing that I'm really kind of looking at is if we do lose $2, what's next? Well, ultimately, we have a fair value gap here on the 12-hour, right around roughly $1.68 to about $1.76. On the daily, I don't think that we really have, this isn't really a specific fair value gap because it is a significant overall zone, but it's between $1.63 and $1.76. So anywhere between roughly $1.60 to $1.80 is what I'm really kind of looking at next for XRP if we lose this trend line. So far, we have held on to it. We did wick a little bit below it. Fake outs do happen. So we're going to watch this closely to see if this bounce is going to continue or not. The big moment of truth to really kind of start to regain a lot of strength on XRP is ultimately breaking over $2.18, reclaiming that, finding a little bit of support on this. So what we want to see is actually a break above this, chopping on this, building support, aka building a floor, and then continuing higher to retest that upper trend line for a potential breakout or a potential, retest of some support. That would be around roughly $2.20 some cents, or potentially even higher, around like $2.30 or so. But from that point on, we should officially get a break above that upper trend line, hit some resistance, back test the trend line, and then continue higher, aka healthy price action, basically. So we are going to watch this closely over the next couple days, because this is not going to happen today, but the focus for today is to maintain this trend line, maintain $2. With Bitcoin, we want to maintain above 92K. We do not want to see any closes below that. And we should be good. If we hold these levels, we should be good. The next level on Bitcoin should be above 100K again. We should retest the previous highs, and we should continue higher from this point on if we are bottomed out here. If we're not, then prepare for significant lows to be ran on Bitcoin, which will lead XRP to actually break this trend line and continue even lower. Again, we take this one day at a time. This is not some magical, hey, let's look into the future sort of thing. This is TA, right? Things can change in an instant, especially around a market this volatile. But we are still focused on 2025. Why? Well, because the narrative around crypto is still extremely bullish leading into 2025. Number one, the ETFs. Listen, these ETFs have been very successful. In fact, they are making history. We have Bloomberg says BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF is the greatest launch in ETF history. BlackRock's Bitcoin fund became the greatest launch in ETF history, with IBIT, growing to more than $50 billion in assets in 11 months. US ETFs played a key role in Bitcoin's rally over $100,000. And listen, if we really go back to the announcement of these ETFs to where we're at currently, these ETFs have been extremely successful. And it also speaks volumes on how much demand there actually is to have Bitcoin in the portfolio. Bitcoin has so far been very successful. A lot of people look at it as digital gold. A lot of people look at it as a safe haven against inflation and, potential collapses around our financial system. And I think that the same goes for all of crypto. I think that a lot of people are parking their money in crypto, betting on it becoming a much larger piece of the global financial system, but ultimately potentially becoming a fix for it as well. But also outside of this, with, the ETF discussions, Bitcoin becoming a bigger, I would say a bigger star in TradFi, it's going to bring in a lot more, capital, a lot more investors, a lot more eyes on crypto. But outside of that, we also have the FTX creditor repayments to begin in early 2025, starting January 3rd. This is going to be big. Everyone should focus on this. Why? Because it's $16 billion being repaid. It's set to begin within 60 days of the effective date, and $12 billion worth of this is going to be in stablecoins. This is a very big thing to focus on, the stablecoin side of it, because that $12 billion in stablecoins, I do expect a large portion of that to flow right back into the space. This is a significant amount of money, and it's going to also help really kind of ignite the next big rally, which should be our wave 3 in the wave 5 structure, which means that we should be going much higher. But also, on top of the FTX repayments, on top of Bitcoin becoming a much bigger star with, a lot more of the retail sector flooding into crypto, we also have a pro-crypto admin. And remember that Eric Trump promised the most pro-crypto president in history. Eric Trump was actually talking about what his followers are going to be, really kind of focused on when it comes to crypto. He also talked about how the US must embrace crypto if they want to become a leader. He also mentioned how the banking system and traditional finance is broken, and crypto could essentially be a fix to that. Now, is this a lot of talk? Is there a lot of, hype going on around this? Sure, there is, 100%. I will be the first to admit that. But when we think about how big crypto is becoming, it is becoming far too big to ignore. And that does go on every single level, right? Everyone is aware of crypto now. I do think that Trump is very serious when he says that he wants the US to become a leader around crypto. Because listen, if we don't start to accept it, other nations outside of the US are going to, and it's going to put them significantly ahead of us in the race. And the race has been on to become a crypto hub around the world for a while now. The UK, the UAE, Singapore, Hong Kong, I mean, they're all moving forward on, becoming a crypto hub. So it only makes sense for the US to also get behind this. Now, on top of that, we also have Gary Gensler stepping down on January 20th, making way for Trump replacement. And we already know that a Trump replacement has already been announced, but this is also a big thing to focus on because, yeah, we are going to see a lot of changes happening around the SEC, happening around the US market. If the US market starts to embrace crypto, and if we do start to see those tax-free benefits also happening around crypto, then we are going to see a very large wave 3, potentially leading us to a much larger wave 5 as well. And if we are talking about just a wave 3 here, that does mean that XRP could potentially go significantly higher than what anyone, including myself, is predicting. But also, to wrap this up, I do want to mention the overall market structure right now, because even with this recent wave down, I did say sentiment has flipped bearish. It's become extremely bearish. And interest in crypto has plummeted since the beginning of the month. We watched 300% to 500% moves across the board on most altcoins, yet everyone is surprised that we are seeing a pullback plus consolidation. This is what healthy PA looks like. Significant moves to the upside, followed by a pullback and consolidation. The next move will be much larger, considering that we have been consolidating longer. The best part about all of this is that the interest has died out while we are still trading over the 2021 all-time high on the total chart. And most alts are still 3 to 5x higher than in November. This means on this next move, aka the wave 3, we should see all-time highs targeted, with price discovery happening next. Now is the time to officially be locked in as 2025 fast approaches. I hope you have all been paying attention. And listen, when we think about this, right? Yes, 2025 is almost here. Look at what's happening around crypto for 2025. The FTX repayments. We have a pro-crypto admin. Gary Gensler stepping down. Bitcoin is becoming a much bigger star around the ETF and around TradFi space. On top of that, right, we have regulations potentially planned for 2025. On top of that, we also have more institutional adoption already becoming a big focus for 2025. It feels as though 2025, the perfect storm is set for 2025. And that storm is crypto. Crypto is going to take the world by storm in a very large way. And those that have been sitting here preparing, planning, studying this market, we are going to reap the rewards of that. And I do think that that all happens starting in January. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.